All right, we are going live. My chat wasn't working. Got to get that set up. And all right, I think we're live. My microphone is still in my bag. I just got in. From Maui to Europe. So I'm super jet lagged and travel fatigued and everything else. But happy to always be on the stream. I haven't missed so many, and I don't want to miss any if I can help it. Hey, Dom, Ragnar, Jorg, Caro. Cool, Caro, I'm glad you're here. I want to talk about a move that you're very good at, the Waimaru Goose Screw training for the forward loop, because Dennis mentioned it in one of his comments this week. And so I want to talk about that just a little bit. Oh, Greg, Axel, John, Sammy. Hey, everyone. So a little bit update. First, let me know, did you sail? If you did, how was it? Hey, Thomas, Den. Yeah, Dennis, I filmed some Waimarus to talk about, especially in relation to the last little video you posted. So, did you sail? How was it? I sailed this week. It was, we had a few days of no wind on Maui, then a few days of wind, and it was kind of hectic because it was my last few days getting ready to go. So there were decent conditions, but my sessions weren't as focused as before because, yeah, I had to leave. So like I'm in Hamburg now. I arrived this morning, super fatigued, super jet lagged. As soon as I get off the stream, I'm gonna crawl into bed and just crash. Dennis, I thought you did post a video. It popped up as something new. Maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll see. Edwin, Matt. Oh, nice to hear you had a good session into the dark. Oh, a Sammy 3-7 session. Nice. Cool. Well, let's try and find this video from Dennis. Ragnar, sorry to hear you didn't get on the water. So Dennis, so this popped up on my timeline, which I know this is an old post. But then there's this update. Oh, which is also old. Oops. But the reply is new. Okay, so I thought this was new. Anyway, we can still talk about the Waimarus. Because I think it's interesting. So we can start off with that. Yeah, so I fly to France. So Thomas is referencing the PWA World Cup in Caro, which is the south of France, outside of Marseille. I leave Wednesday to go there. So I'm arriving, I think it's 2 days before the event. And my plan until then is to hit the gym and sleep, pretty much. Try and get, stay in shape and get over this jet lag and not let my body deteriorate too much. This, like, round the world traveling is so hard on the body, all the dry air, the time change, everything else. Like, I just feel so destroyed in my face and body. So that's my plan. Anyway, so I'll be in France from the 10th till the 22nd. So if any of you guys are around, let me know. We can do a meetup, maybe post in the group to organize it, and we can do something. Obviously, my number one priority is the competition, and that's what I'm there for, but I'd love to meet up. I don't have a caddy for France. Are you applying, Ragnar? Hey, Rasmus. Nice, you had some kind of warm conditions. That's nice at this time of year. Caro, 4-6, okay, back loop. Cool. All right, I'm getting a message that the live stream date is wrong. Let me change this. Hold on. All right. November 7th. All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Waimaru. Fabian. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Waimaru not as a move on its own, but as a tool for learning the forward loop. So the Waimaru as a move on its own is also interesting, but what I'm doing here in this video is really specific for learning the forward. If I'm trying to do a Waimaru and land it, I'm going to be doing something different than what I'm doing in this video. But Rich, sorry for the date. Mario, hi from Portugal. So I have a whole method for learning the forward, and it's a method also that I'm refining all the time. So we did a course earlier this year specifically about the forward, and I want to add a few steps into my method from that course. One of the things I'm going to add is the Waimaru. So before, I didn't include the Waimaru because I feel like while it is a good tool, alone I feel like you can get a little bit stuck on the Waimaru stage, and so it's really good to do the no strap loop quite early on in the process to get used to the rotation and to get comfortable with the rotation so you're not scared anymore. It's a very effective way of dealing with the fear. Dan, welcome to the live stream. Unfortunately, the Zoom was not recorded last week. We'll do another one of these board setup videos or Zooms again. I really enjoyed the format. It was my first time teaching on Zoom, and there was so much that I had to learn and figure out. So I want to do more with Zoom in the future because I think it's a really interesting format rather than this one where it's just one-way information. But sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. You guys okay? I hope your ears are still there. That was just something falling over, but we're all good here. Anyway, let's get back to the forward loop instruction. So Dan, no, the Zoom was not recorded, but we'll do more of these board setup videos. Pay attention in the group for updates to the next one. And the link to sign up with the email, you can put your email in there, and I'll probably send the next blast or the next information about it to those same emails, plus whatever new ones sign up. So if you put your email in there or just pay attention to the group, it'll be fine. All right, anyway, so the Waimaru. I didn't originally include the Waimaru because I feel like you can get stuck doing the Waimaru. And so what is the Waimaru? It's basically a flat water wave 360. And it's a good exercise to do for the forward because it teaches you how to be under the sail and how to position the rig in the beginning of the maneuver. And it gets you comfortable with rotating. But I think it's really important to do the no strap loop first. Sorry, just getting a text that my date is wrong, which it definitely is. All right, so let's get into this. Anyway, so a Waimaru is basically a flat water 360. Here's an example of one. Again, I crashed this, but you don't have to worry about landing it. It's more important what you're doing. I mean, I water started out of this, but I would consider that a crash. Anyway, but what's important is what you're doing in more the beginning of this process to sort of teach you about the forward loop. And again, I really want to put this clearly. In my method of teaching the forward, I think it's really important to do the no strap loop first, because that is a really important hurdle for getting used to doing the rotation and getting comfortable with the fear. And you want to always come back to that no strap loop exercise. And if you're interested in doing a forward loop course with me, I'm going to do another virtual forward loop course, an online learn to loop course sometime in the next few months. So if you are interested, we are going to do another one of them with an updated curriculum. So the Waimaru is something that I would do after the no strap loop. Now, I want to point out a few key things here with the Waimaru. One is how far downwind did I go? And so, Dennis, I know that you've been trying a few Waimarus. Caro is really good at the Waimaru, so she might have some tips. So really going downwind So you can see, if you look at my angle, this is my like normal kind of upwind angle sailing. And look at how far downwind I'm going as I initiate the move, right? I mean, it's almost like I'm going into a jibe. And then what some of the key elements are, so going really downwind, and again, this is flat water, but I'm looking for a little chop, the back of a chop. I'm going over the back of a chop. I'm sheeting out and really using, so I'm sheeting out with my backhand, really using the front hand, bringing the sail to the windward side, and then using that front hand to push the board downwind. And then from that point, once I get in the air, then I'm sheeting in and looking over the shoulder. You know the point to sheet in because the sail starts to load up with power. And then that, when you're sheeting in, helps kind of carry you around in a little rotation. This one, it's not the prettiest one, but you don't have to land them again to be a good exercise for doing forward loops. So come downwind, really, really downwind, right? I'm going almost straight downwind. I'm sailing really almost straight downwind here. Yeah, almost straight downwind. Going over the back of the chop, really sheeting out with the backhand, moving the sail across the body. And so this is a really important part for learning the forward, because this position here where you're moving the sail to windward really helps with a nice horizontal forward rotation. And then getting some air, looking over my rear shoulder, sheeting in. And I could be more compact here. I could sheet in a little bit more and keep pushing with my front arm, which would probably make it so that I land this cleanly. But really the point of the rotation is this beginning part for learning the forward. And then it also gets you comfortable with doing a kind of rotation that's under the sail, because what we really don't want to be doing is hucking the body forward over the board, right? You never want to be throwing your body over the center line of the board. See how my body is always on the heel side of the board. It's never going over the center line of the board. And that's the same with a forward loop. So this is a really good exercise to do if you want to learn the forwards, or if you want to make your forwards more horizontal. I'll revisit this, and again, I'm putting together a revised forward loop course that I'm going to teach virtually. So if you're interested in that, it will be posted all in the Facebook group. All right, moving on to coaching. Let me just refresh the group just in case there's anything posted since we started. All right, so we've got this video from Sammy. Where did it go? So I've already watched these. So people have been giving some good feedback. Carson wants to know where it is. I also want to know where it is. It does look like the Canaries, but I have a feeling it's not. I'm not sure. All right, so let's watch these. And then I've got kind of one pretty solid comment on these. So that's the first wave. And the second wave. Oh, so it is Cabezo. Yeah, I thought it looked like Canaries, and then I was doubting myself. Second wave, and then the third wave. Oh, did we skip the third wave? Here's the third wave. Yeah, let me know if there's any questions with the Waimaru as well. And again, I'm putting together a revised curriculum for teaching the forward, which also includes the Waimaru in there. So in the comments that I saw about this, people were talking about Sammy's placement of his hands and the sail, which can be in the clue, which is definitely something that can play a role with what's going on here. But I want to look at just one thing. And Sammy, I think you're doing actually a pretty good job with your fundamentals. You know, I can tell here the sail's leaning forward, you're leaning forward, you've got a wide grip on the boom. But what I want you to do, and this is something that's come up now quite a bit with footage from people from all over the world, is aim to hit these corner sections. So that would mean on this wave, starting earlier. And the nice thing about these corners is that they're actually pretty easy to get the timing, because if you go too early, right? So let's see. So if we look at the wave again, and you go too early, so let's pretend you're too early. You're a little bit too late, actually, but if you're too early, instead of hitting it here, you just hit it a little bit farther down the wave where it's ready, right? So instead of hitting it here, you just go here. And so you're basically just steering to the part that's going to be ready when you get to it. And so what you're looking for is this kind of corner. And again, there's a certain amount of anticipation that you have to do to know, okay, my speed is this, the wave speed is that. So given those two, my brain calculates that I need to aim there so that I connect with the wave when it is that kind of corner. And when you do get to that corner, you really want to work on getting the, hey David, getting that high five with the board. But it can be difficult to get the high five with this kind of whitewater because it's just broken. But so what you really want to do is aim for those corner sections and then just getting the high five on the corner. And you can go, the trick is you can go a little bit earlier when you have a wave that's offering that corner, because if you're too early, you just go a little bit more down the line. And it's a great way to make sure that you're getting good contact with the wave. And so here again, we have another one of these corner sections. And so I think, Sammy, it would help if you're really aiming for those sections. It looks like from where your head is looking, it's hard to see, but it looks like you're looking more down here instead of looking here. There's a couple other things that you can do to help make it so that you can get to a place closer, which is not dropping down in front of the wave as much. So again, it's a little bit hard to see with this angle, but it does look like you're coming pretty far in front of the wave. So now this is a different one. I think this is when you go too early, right? So again, really looking for those corners will really help with your timing. Excuse me. The dry air from the airplane wrecks my nose. So let's look at this again. So Sammy, is that enough for you to know what to work on to look for those corner sections? And so how to do that in Cabezo is you want to set up a little bit more upwind and then just really try to aim for that corner like we saw in the first video, and just get your board to high five that. Is that enough? So you can come a little bit, yeah. So really aiming to get in this corner. Is that enough of a coaching point for you, of a note? Do you understand how to put that into reality so that when you get on the water, is that something that you know how to do? Then the second thing, which really the focusing on the corners is the main thing that's going to help you right now. But the other thing you can do is really working on bringing your hands together for the cutback. So the wide grip is great on the bottom turn, but bringing the hands a bit closer will free up the sail and make it so that you're more easily able to go into the cutback and get the high five or do whatever you want to do because the sail is more maneuverable, less loaded up with that wide grip. But looking for those corner sections is really going to help. And then, there's other ways to ride the wave there, and there's other timings, and like when you want to get these multiple frontside turns, then you can't do that because you're going to set up more on the peak, and you're doing maybe a face turn or you're coming up with the section. But that timing is a lot more difficult, and it's still something that's worth working on, of course. But working on these like backdoor corner sections is a great way to get used to starting to think about timing, figuring out the speed of the wave, figuring out that calculation of my speed is X, the wave speed is Y, we'll meet at Z. And so it's a really good exercise, and it's fun, and it's like a quick way to get some really good wave riding with good timing. All right, cool. So I think you've got enough to know what to work on. I want to see the footage from the next days. All right, I did this post with the Waimaru, and we can have more discussion about that as well. All right, this is old. This is old. This is also old. Different comments. This is also old. A lot of comments on old posts, which is great, but we don't have to discuss them. Mark wants some footage of me from the mast, so I need to get a mast mount camera. I'll do that. I'll get some footage of it because it seems like a lot of people have fly mounts, so I'll get one as well, and then that makes it good for comparing the footage. But I don't have any right now. I do have some more of the helmet footage that I haven't posted yet that I've got to go through and edit to post, which is maybe interesting. Little inspiring story. And all right, Bjorn asked about Ireland. So there's a lot of good answers here. I don't know if I can really add much value compared to what people have already said. We've got a lot of people here who either visit Ireland regularly or live in Ireland. So that's great advice for you, Bjorn. And I'll just add that Ireland is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful, the people are friendly, and there's amazing windsurfing. So about prioritizing down the line wave sailing. So one of the things is that there are tons of spots. You kind of have to know where to go. I haven't read all of the answers, and the guys in the answers who have already written answers are more qualified than I am. I spent a month in Ireland. I think it was January, about 10 years ago, and we were staying in Eski and just driving all over trying to find wind and waves. We had some amazing down the line. I think the best sections were in Kilcummin, and that was around the time when Kilcummin was just being discovered for windsurfing. And I think it was Mikey Clancy that took me there. So in the first week I was staying with Mikey in Dublin, and we drove out to the west coast, staying in like bed and breakfast or whatever, and sailing. Rest in peace, Mikey. And anyway, we were just great sailing. Really good down the line. I think if you really focus on down the line conditions rather than jumping, you've got to be talking with the right people because not everyone has the same priority. Some people do want to have the jumping. They want to have side on or side shore conditions instead of the down the line. So just make sure that you're taking advice from people that have the same priorities as you, because a lot of times with a one wind direction, there might be both options available, and not everyone wants the down the line sailing. That's something that I would definitely throw in there. Time of year, I think for big waves, which is also maybe not necessarily what you want. You might not want it super big. So again, what other people say is better than what I'm saying. I think you want kind of around the winter, and it doesn't get too cold. So like when I was there, it was January, and there were some mornings with frost. So like like a layer of ice or snow or something on the car and the grass. But on the water, because of the jet stream, it's not so bad. It's not so cold. It's a lot worse sailing on the North Sea or the Baltic Sea. Um, it's really not bad. I wore boots some days. I didn't wear boots other days. So I think it's okay. So the locals will have better answers probably than me. The atmosphere, I think there's not very much localism, but I'm sure you can encounter it somewhere. But super nice. I mean, it's I have so many fun memories of just chatting with super interesting locals, like non-windsurfers, just these old farmers who live in Iski and just talking about politics and whatever else. It's a fun time. There's a lot, people are very open, even though it's small communities. I found that people are really open. There's good food. I think a trip to Ireland is 100% worth it. And let us know how it goes. All right, so moving on. So I think, David, we talked about this last week. I want to know what your decision is and then how it goes. I think we're caught up, which is great. It's kind of a week with light questions, which fits in perfectly with my travel fatigue and jet lag. Ragnar is also saying that Ireland is fantastic. Ragnar has a lot of experience all over the place, Ireland included, and I definitely agree that a trip to Ireland is worth it. Okay, so Carol is asking a very important question about Cape Town Clinic. So the dates that I'm looking at right now, based on the survey and based on my availability, this is not 100% confirmed. I have to confirm it with the wife, and there's a few things on her end that might complicate this. But again, I really want to do a Cape Town Clinic. And so I'm looking at January 1st to January the 7th. And those dates are found by looking at the time that I can make it work and the time that it works for the most people. And so that's all based on the survey responses. And so yeah, January 1st to January 7th is what I'm looking at. And I would do just a short trip to Cape Town. Basically, I would come just for the clinic that I arrive, I think, the day before. And I would leave like a couple days after. So that's what I'm looking at. But again, it's not 100% confirmed. But those are the dates that look like they work. Cool, Thomas. That sounds cool. That Marine's going to publish that. I'm sure I'm going to see you in a few days, right? You're going to be in Caro, I'm guessing. And again, if anyone else is in the south of France, swing by Caro, check out the World Cup. We can have a meetup from the coaching group, from the coaching community. I would love that. And yeah, it would be cool to get together. Again, my focus is on the competition, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of time. It's a long event window, and there's probably not going to be conditions for most of it. Hopefully we get some good conditions, good down the line starboard tack conditions. I would be stoked with that. All right, I hope you guys have a good windy week. I'm going to crash, try and get as much sleep as I can. I'll probably wake up at 3 in the morning anyway. Again, Maui is like the other side of the world from Germany. And so it's quite a lot of jet lag. And travel fatigue is the main thing as well, because it's over 24 hours of a trip and a lot of hours in a plane with the dry air, not sleeping. Like, so I left like 9:45 p.m. on Maui on Friday. And so I haven't slept in a bed since then, just planes and whatever else. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to crawling into bed and getting some good rest this week and then heading to France. So again, if you're in or around Marseille, Caro, I'll see you in France. Otherwise, I'll see you next week, Sunday. The only reason that a live stream won't happen next week, Sunday, is if there's something that conflicts with the competition, but hopefully that's not the case. And I'll see you guys then. All right, take care.